Hello, everybody. Welcome back to WLTV, where people get pied in the face.
1, 2, 3.
This is crazy.
To anyone who ordered a Junior Olympics shirts, be ready to pay $15 for your shirt. Check your email for any updates on where to pay and where to pick up your shirt. And if you don't know what Junior Olympics is, what's your problem? Living under a rock or something?
No, hey, calm down. Okay, let me just explain what it is.
Whatever.
For the underclassmen. Junior Olympics is an annual tradition at Leiden. In the weeks leading up to spring break, the freshman, the sophomore, junior, and senior classes can participate in various events and earn points. Then the day before spring break, Junior Olympics takes place in the field house. During Junior Olympics, the four classes compete against each other in other variety of Olympic-style games. The points are awarded to the winners of each game, and at the end of the games, the Junior Olympics winning classes is announced and gets bragging rights for next year's games.
What about seniors? We're not going to be here next year.
Well, calm down. During that week as well, we have a Spirit Week.
Hi, welcome. I'm Jetty, and today I'm going to be giving you an overview about Leiden's spring parent-teacher conferences.
As the clock strikes 5, parents were able to attend parent-teacher conferences in the field house, where they were able to receive a schedule and meet with parents. Here we have Dr. Santana telling us the importance of parent-teacher connection.
Do you think it's important for teachers and parents to have a connection?
Absolutely. I think the more that there's a good, strong communication bond, the more things that both parties can work together. So if there's like issues with homework completion, a parent can ask questions, maybe even a student can explain the homework to the parent. It's getting the parents involved into the education process.
Translators were also on hand, ready to help parents and teachers with any communication barriers. Along with that, Leiden provided childcare for small children and light snacks and water to help parents and teachers have an enjoyable evening. Here we have one of our Leiden teachers telling us how it's going so far.
Hi, Mr. Henning. Okay. Hi, Mr. Henning. Oh, wait, what's your name?
Mr. Henning.
How are parent-teacher conference going so far?
They're going very good. I've seen 8 out of my 9 slots possibly available.
Why do you think it's important for parents to come to parent-teacher conferences?
I think it's good for parents to be involved in parent conferences so that way that they understand what their kids are doing, but also to put names and faces, because if their students talk about these teachers, it's nice for them to actually put a name and a face together and kind of see what their personalities are. But then as teachers, then we also get to kind of see where their personalities kind of come from and the fun, quirkiness, and other stuff like that, like from the students.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henning. And that's it for this year's parent-teacher conferences. And for underclassmen, make sure you come back next year. Bye, toodles! Recently, on March 7th, the West Leiden Metals class took a field trip to 3 different manufacturing companies: E.J. Basler, Trell, and Principal Manufacturing. Here's Ms. Longstreth with more information.
We like to take our students on field trips to local manufacturing companies so that they get a different perspective and a broader perspective of what they're learning about in Metals 1, 2, and independent study classes. So we are limited to having machines in here like mills and lathes and CNC equipment, but if we take them out into the real world, they're able to see different types of manufacturing processes like stamping or forging or welding that they wouldn't normally get to experience in the class. It also gives them a perspective that if they wanted to pursue a career in manufacturing, they would get to see firsthand what those different options would be.
Here are 2 West Leiden students with their thoughts on the field.
So out of the companies that we went to, my favorite was E.J. Basler. All the machines there, it had like a really clean work environment, and everybody there was willing to talk to you about what they were working on, the tools. If you had any questions, they didn't hesitate to answer anything that you had.
My favorite company was probably PMC. It was a really big warehouse that had multiple facilities in the area. and just like a lot of opportunities for different fields of it. Like they had injection molds, they had punch press. There's a lot of things you could do there. So I guess if you're bored of something, they can teach you something else. And don't forget.
Go, Eagle! Juan, you know what month this is?
Green month?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. But it's also Women's History Month.
No wonder why my mom yelled at me for not saying I love you.
And no wonder I'm about to pinch you because you're not wearing green.
Ow! Dude, it's not even St. Patrick's Day yet.
My fault.
Happy Women's History Month! Follow along as we dive deeper into what this month truly means.
Throughout history, women have always played significant roles, yet their contributions were often marginalized and overlooked. The first ever Women's Day began March 8, 1909, and many years later, in March 1978, the first Women's History Week was celebrated, which began through a group of educators in Sonoma County, California. Activists quickly turned it into a movement and pushed President Carter to issue the first presidential proclamation declaring it as an official week. In his words, too often women were unsung and sometimes their contributions went unnoticed. But the achievements, leadership, courage, strength, and love of the women who built America was as vital as that of the men whose names we know so well. It was up until 1987 that Congress declared the month of March as National Women's History Month. Despite significant progress, challenges remain in ensuring gender equality in all areas. However, ongoing efforts by historians and activists continue to shed light on the diverse experiences and achievements of women across society. Now follow along as our fellow peers share the inspiring women in their lives.
Who's an inspiring woman in your life?
I would say an inspiring person in my life would be my mom.
My mom?
I think I'm gonna say my mom.
In my life, I have a lot of inspiring women. One of them being my mom.
My mom.
One moment my mom told me that you could be the dumbest or weakest person at the start, but what matters is the end.
An inspiring woman in my life is my mom. She went through a lot of college while I was little, and she set a really good example for me growing up and going to school and going to college.
She went through a lot, and just ultimately, like, when it comes to, when I think of the word bounce back, like, 100%, like, I'm just gonna think about her for that.
Because my mom's always been there for me through the thick and thin, so yeah.
She's a hard worker, and she always provides for me.
She's always there for me when I'm sad.
Thank you. Javi, who's an inspiring woman in your life?
Michelle Obama, because she gives us free lunch, so I can eat on my friends' lunch.
Miss Gleason, Miss Berardi from 8th grade, Miss Meister, Miss Loud, my counselor. She's always been there for me. And that's kind of it.
Who's an inspiring woman in your life?
You are.
St. Patrick's Day observes the death of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, born in Roman Britain in the late 4th century. The Irish have observed this day as a religious holiday for over 1,000 years. St. Patrick was kidnapped at the age of 16 and taken to Ireland as a slave. He escaped but returned about 432 CE to convert the Irish to Christianity. By the time of his death on March 17, 461, he had established monasteries, churches, and schools. Many folklore and stories remain about St. Patrick, but one of the most famous ones is that he miraculously drove all the snakes of Ireland into the sea. He is said to have used the 3 leaflets of the shamrock to explain the concept of the Holy Trinity. He reportedly raised as many as 33 people from the dead. This year's St. Patrick's Day will take place on Sunday, March 17th. On St. Patrick's Day, which falls during the Christian season of Lent, Irish families would traditionally attend church in the morning and celebrate it in the afternoon. Lenten prohibitions against the consumption of meat were waived, and people would dance, drink, and feast on traditional meal of corned beef and cabbage. Some Irish already lived in Chicago when it was incorporated as a city in 1837. In the next few years, Irish numbers grew rapidly, particularly after the arrival of refugees from the Great Famine. By 1850, Irish immigrants accounted for about one-fifth of the city's population. The history of St. Patrick's Day in Chicago goes back more than 175 years. Now a long-standing tradition, Chicago's Irish Parade was first held in 1843 and became an official city event in the 1950s. The dyeing of the Chicago River was added in 1962 and quickly became one of Chicago's most famous events. This year's Chicago River dyeing will be on March 16th at 10 a.m. There is also a Chicago St. Patrick's Day Parade, which is one of the largest St. Patrick's Day parades in the country and the centerpiece of the city's unforgettable St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The parade starts at 12:15 p.m.
State champions!
Congratulations to the special education basketball team for winning state.
Let's take it back to Camilla and Ariel on how our state champs feel about winning some back-to-back gold this St. Patrick's Day.
This past weekend, the Leidenbridge Special Olympics basketball team won the state tournament hosted at Illinois Wesleyan University for the second time in the past 3 years. Miss Like has been head coach of the Bridge basketball team for 3 years. Here's what she had to say.
Very honored to be able to coach this team. I've coached this team for 3 years. In my first year, they took first place at state. Last year, they took second. And then this year, they won the state championship again. So I'm so proud of this team. It's an amazing season. The team went 5-0 before the regional. And then we ended up 7-0 at the end of the season because they won the state championship.
The Eagles were selected to enter playoffs and won their first game against Vernon Hills 40-13 before heading into the state championship. Mr. Cerelius, assistant coach for 2 years, speaks more on how the process went.
We actually qualified for state through a lottery, and we were moved up to the toughest division in the state. So we were expecting to play some tough teams, and we did play some tough teams, but overall our kids played fantastic.
The team then headed into the state championship game with the stands packed with their parents' support. Sophomore Conrad Kaplan expresses how the team felt going into the state championship game.
I was kind of nervous because I didn't know if the other team that we played against would win gold. At the end, it was crazy. Everybody was chaotic. One time, the other team had the same points as us, so we had to go back and forth, and it worked. Yeah.
With a final score of 55-49 against Oaklawn's adult transition program, Leidenbridge basketball won the state championship. With the conclusion of a great season, Coach Like and Cerelius stressed the importance of Special Olympic programs.
The Special Olympics are such a cool environment to be. The best sportsmanship that you'll see across any sports are in the Special Olympics.
Special Olympics teams should be honored just as much as general education teams because they are working hard every single day at practice, every single week, and their success is shown in their state titles.
Finally, basketball star Conrad would like to thank everyone for the support in their team's amazing season.
Thank you to everyone that supported us on the walkout. Thank you for everything, and thank you for giving us support.
Congratulations to the team and Coach Like and Cerelius for all their hard work this season. Now back to the studio.
Man, I miss the snow.
I know for a fact that was a lie.
How?
Remember when your car got stuck?
Yeah.
And the time where you slipped 5 feet down the street?
Yeah.
And the time where your pants
All
got...
right, look. That was a lie.
Whatever you say, man.
But remember sledding and snowboarding down that hill during break?
Man, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
Speaking of snowboarding, here's Josh and Jacob on Leiden's very own snowboarding club.
Look at that! Extraordinaire!
Earlier in the winter season, the Leiden Ski and Snowboard Club took its annual Saturday weekend trip to the ski hills in Wisconsin. Though with the lack of winter snow this season, the Ski and Snowboard Club were able to still have a great experience. Skiing and snowboarding are both a thrilling winter sport that involves sliding down snowy slopes, but they each offer their own involvement. Skiing involves using a long, narrow ski attached to your boots and ski poles for balance and force, offering a sense of control and stability. Snowboarding requires riding a single wide board with both feet strapped in, similar to surfing on snow. Snowboarders rely on body movement to steer and cut down the slopes, offering a sense of freedom. Vincent Malari, a senior and club member, is a student who didn't have any experience with skiing nor snowboarding. Vincent describes his experience with this club as a great opportunity to learn something new.
I wanted to join ski and snowboard clubs because of my peers. Since they've been skiing, one of my friends has been skiing since he was 5. I like to rollerblade and ice skate as well. And he said, "Hey, when it comes to skiing, it's like relatively the same. And so I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. And so I tried it out, and it was a really wonderful experience.
With this club, no prior experience or equipment is necessary. You are able to rent equipment, get suited up, and start sliding down the hills. Then, a thrilling and adventurous experience is awaited. To join the club, you can contact Miss Kobo or stop by in the morning in room 206 to get set up. Catch you on the flip side. This has been Josh and Jacob reporting from WLTV.
And that's it for WLTV. And remember, go Eagles. What are you doing this St. Patrick's Day?
Go Eagles.
What are you doing this St. Patrick's Day?
Nothing much. Probably nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Happy birthday?
Sure.
Variety. During Junior Olympics, the 4 classes competed against. Okay, you do it. I'll take your parts. Congratulations to the special education basketball team for winning state.
Let's take it back to Camilla and air, H2O, oxygen, water.